Christian, what did you think of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for the PlayStation 1?
I thought it was cute. What did you think, Tucker? You like Harry Potter, especially and the Philosopher's Stone?
Yeah, yes. Okay. I don't know if I've ever read the last book, actually, but I sure love the first two movies. Bad though they be. Chris Columbus, out here rocking it, director of Stepmom.
Whoa.
Is out here making the first two Harry Potter movies. And then they made that documentary about the Harry Potter movies, and he was like the coolest dad director ever, it seemed like. That's how he portrayed himself. Yeah.
I haven't seen this.
He's like, I just love working with kids. And then like, It was weird because like the contrast got like darker on the screen, and like they played that like, and then it cut to like pictures of him standing behind the child actors.
Shouldn't have said that. No more questions. Don't ask any more questions.
It was really an odd choice for this HBO documentary, but none of that carries over to the game.
Sure. Movie's great score.
Yep. Yeah, I like Harry Potter, and I liked this game. What house would you be in? That's the question everyone's been asking us.
One of the losing ones, probably.
They're all losing ones. Especially in this game where every so often there's just an unskippable cutscene where not Albus Dumbledore says, "No to the house go."
Yes.
Which is really cool because, and this will get at something that I really like about this game, as a kid reading the books, I was always like, God, what are they even describing? Because there's like these huge hourglasses that like fill with magic space dust whenever the house. And as an American child, I had no concept of what houses even meant, or like why are they in tribes and competing.
Oh, sure.
Now it makes slightly more sense. But it's so good to see the video game take a swing at this visual concept and just miss entirely. And but it still made me happy, and I'm sure as a child it would have made me very happy to see that polygonalized, you know?
Totally. Yeah. It's in the Great Hall with all the floating candles.
I know, I love it. Oh, Christian.
There's no one there, but the hourglasses are there, and that's what matters.
As a child, Christian, did licensed games ignite your imagination the way they did for me?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Did this ignite your imagination now?
Good question.
Do you care about Harry Potter at all? I guess I should ask.
I have a lot of nostalgia for the first movie, especially.
Okay.
First couple movies. Yep. Yeah. I remember my dad buying 25 packs of Coca-Cola, or maybe it was 24 packs. And then they would come with like a little sweepstakes booklet. And then he would give it to me every time and be like, "Open it, Sonny. See if we won." And then I'd open it and be like, "Oh, it says better luck next time. Does that mean we won, Dad?" And he'd say, "No.
No owl for
Maybe
you today,
next 24 pack we'll get a win."
What was the prize? Was it like, meet Rupert Grint?
It was probably something like that. Yeah.
Want a chance to win a Hogwarts castle adventure? Only Coke can take you there. Look for the Hogwarts crest under the cap of specially marked Coca-Cola bottles, and you could be on your way. Join the search, see the movie, live the magic.
Go get free tickets to Orlando Studios.
Oh, can you visit Diagon Alley?
Probably.
Oh my God.
Just like you can in the playable video game for the PlayStation 1.
That's right. This was the final Harry Potter game, Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone game that you played, right? Because you've played the other versions, because this is insane where it's all different games.
Yeah, it is nuts. I've played the Game Boy Advance one, which is a bad puzzle platformer thing.
Okay.
And I've played the PC one, which is like a fascinating reinterpretation, like bizarro alternate reality version of the PlayStation 1 game.
Okay, that sounds all right. There's like a JRPG on the Game Boy Color, maybe?
Yes, the Game Boy Colors are turn-based RPGs.
What is going on?
I have no idea.
It's such a rich mine to mine, because it turns out nothing really happens in the first Harry Potter movie. Or it's like a perfect setup for a video game, because it's just like task, and then a dungeon. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. It's like Zelda. But it's fascinating, I think, to see what parts they pick out and what parts they just invent out of nowhere, where it's like, let's go back to Diagon Alley halfway through the school year instead of starting you there for some reason.
Right. Yeah, like this game starts like 33% through the movie. We're just boom, Hogwarts, go.
But they have like in case you're like this rare child who's only playing the video game and has no idea what Harry Potter is, it's like, here's a storybook introduction.
Yes.
Hagrid flew his motorcycle. Blah, blah, blah. And it's got like the cool, like, Precious Memories deviant art going on, which is awesome.
I love seeing that because it's like it was made before they saw like what the movie would be like.
Yes.
It's clear that they were privy to some of the movie stuff. There's some stuff that's similar. You know, you like the and then knocking him on the head with the club, like this straight out of the movie basically. But like the rest of it, it's just them being like, throw snails in there. I don't know.
Big snails.
Flipendo. The crazy goblin ghost guy whose name I forgot. Peeves. He'll be in the movie, right? Yeah, Peeves.
Yeah, his role got cut at the last time. It's so crazy he never showed up in that whole movie series, even though he was a character in the books. But yeah, it seems to me like the video game version of the book cover, which shows Harry in blue jeans on a broomstick, like chasing a unicorn or something. It's like, I guess this is kind of what happens in the book, but it's not really getting the vibe at all. But
yeah, totally.
I like this vibe better because this vibe's crazy. And you go in the Forbidden Forest and there's lava pits and there's like weird. Oh, I love this era of just like, we need to make a forest. Okay, so we're going to have these like polygons that like jitter back and forth and they're just kind of like shaped like a forest. And it's like, oh, I'm in a forest. But in that moment, it's like, oh, my imagination's filling in the blanks.
Yeah. It's just a wall of trees.
Yeah.
It's just a flat wall made out of a tree picture.
It just barely registers enough that you can fill in the blanks. Whereas I as soon as like the GameCube era started, I just feel like we got too close to good or I grew up and my imagination couldn't do that anymore. And it's like, oh, I'm playing a video game. But this is a wonderful story. Is this just Zelda?
Good question. It's way simpler than Zelda. You got like the place you got to go and then you go there. And then everywhere else you just can't go. Like you go to the first class and then you get your spell. And then you go to the next class and then you get your spell. And then you go to the class or potions class. And Ron doesn't want to go in there because he doesn't like Snape, but he'll catch up eventually.
Right.
And then you learn potions.
Right.
And getting to each class is like one platforming section. Like you get a time limit. And for some reason, the pathway to every teacher's classroom is a precarious set of platforms that is timed.
Yeah.
And if you don't get there in time, I don't know, Gryffindor loses 10 points or something.
But this game occupies that space where it's like, that makes perfect sense to me. Or if I can put myself in the mindset of myself as a child, it makes perfect sense because it's like, I don't know. They didn't describe Harry going to class in the books or whatever. Like maybe there were like crazy magical obstacle courses. He's at a weird school that kills children and stuff. Like who knows what could happen? So it was never like, this goes against, well, the lava in the Forbidden Forest was a little weird, but otherwise it was like, this goes against my understanding of the canon.
Yeah.
It was fine.
The dungeon stuff was weird to me because there's classrooms in the dungeon, but there's also like bats flying around and you can hear like water dripping from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then that's where I'm like, why is there classes down here? The Game Boy Advance version, I don't believe had this problem.
Okay. It's a nice touch when you open a door and bats skitter out of it. Though.
Yeah.
I like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Did you like all the weird portraits of the development staff?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and then they drop that immediately and it never comes
They do.
back.
It is weird, yeah. I think I watched a behind the scenes thing on the PC version.
Okay.
So that's an entirely different version, but there's like a lot of parallels in a weird way where I don't know how that worked because the guy talking about the PC version made it seem like they had nothing to work with and they just had to throw something together. But this PS1 version has a lot of similarities, like the Wizard Crackers. Mm-hmm. That's a section. Or like the Hogwarts like hall, the entrance hall. looks like almost the same between both versions.
Weird.
So it seems like they had some kind of mandates or something that they were going off of that they both were able to go on. But he said, PC version guy said for the portraits, he was like, well, we could spend a ridiculous amount of time and money securing licenses for pictures, or we could just recreate them with ourselves. I
guess.
Skirt around with free use. So they had their art department. They're like, go, you recreate the Mona Lisa with your face. And then they did it.
That's just, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. To me, you would just like draw a man, but I guess it would be easier to just like take a picture and Photoshop it. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And compress it down to the PlayStation 1 warble.
24 by 24 pixels. That's all you need.
Heck yeah.
BMP. All of that's great. I have no issues with anything you're talking about.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I know that in my heart this is not a very good game, but playing through it, I didn't really have too many like issues or like I think in this like Diet Zelda kind of thing where you know Harry just jumps when you reach the edge of a thing, and like that seemed really forgiving to me, where it wasn't frustrating most of the time. Puzzles are like dead simple, but so are puzzles in Zelda most of the time. So it's like whatever. I feel like the downtime is kind of rough in this game, where it's like, Harry, come to blah, 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 random magic thing. And then you're like, where do I go?
Yeah.
I'm in a castle.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing, is that I feel like I would have felt different about this game had I played it as a smaller child who understood less about video games.
Child, yeah. Okay.
Where, like, when I played the PC version back in the day, it just felt massive to me for some reason. It felt like it was huge, and I could never adequately grasp it, no matter how long I would have spent with it. Where in this game, they're like, okay, go to Charms class. And then now as an adult, I was like, okay, so that's probably this door because all the other ones are locked.
Yeah.
And then I go in the door, and then I find the class, and then I do the platforming challenge, and then move on. Where as a child, I probably would have been like, whoa, you just set me loose, and I have like 6 doors I can pick from here.
In Hogwarts, dude.
Exactly.
As a kid, I would have just gone back to places I had already been and just wandered around and not accomplished anything, and I would have loved it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've lost that magic, Tucker.
I guess. I don't know. I still wandered around a lot because I just didn't know. And I like the collectibles where it's like, collect the beans and take them to a specific place. I'm like, that's never happening. I did one of those and I was like, why?
That's also a very interesting facet of it, because I think it's not all that difficult to collect all those jelly beans as far as I'm aware. I think you get like over half of them just on the main critical story path or whatever.
Right.
And then you just like go in one side room and get the rest. So the first one was like a wizarding card.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like I get some lore here. And then the one after that is like a Nimbus 2000 broom.
Okay.
And I think that's supposed to upgrade the Quidditch stuff, but I don't know.
Right. How would you even know? It would be hard to tell. Yeah.
Yeah. No idea. So after that, I was like, okay, all bets are off. There's no consistency with which they're going to decide what rewards they're going to give me here. So
the Deathly Hallows are in this one. That's crazy.
Whoa.
The Master Broom Wand.
Yeah. Another thing that would have been crazier to young me, because it wasn't the PC version when I was little, was the house point stuff and how you earn it.
Right.
Because just like that idea is like genius to me for some reason.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just like the idea that whatever you're doing in the game, you'll get rewarded house points.
Okay.
And then the other houses get rewarded house points. And you just got to try your best to keep yourselves up and in first place.
Is this where the achievement thing came from? Is this,
I don't know.
Did we find patient zero on this thing?
But like, I was like, I would be like, there has to have been like 50 things I missed that would have given me more house points, and we're losing because it's 100% my fault.
That's right.
But
it's true.
I don't know if you can lose the house cup in this video game.
It gives the impression that like someone's always watching over you or something.
Yeah.
Because somebody's got to reward you those points. I assume it's Dumbledore or something. That's not how it worked in the books, right? It wasn't just like,
Yeah.
People are like giving each other, like somebody rescues a cat and then it's like 15 points just got added to the tally. That's crazy. Good job, Seamus. But yeah, and this one you're just an army of one and you're earning all these points for your house and who cares?
Yeah. And Slytherin they're booking it, whatever they're doing,
seriously. Man. They're off on their own adventure doing Zelda dungeons. God bless them. Do you earn any points in Diagon Alley? Because I feel like that's where the canon breaks, dude. That's where my suspension of disbelief would go out the window. Is if Harry's off earning points off grounds. Can't have that?
I don't know. I don't recall. I don't think there is, but I could be incorrect.
Pisses me off so much.
You're telling me that Diagon Alley section was kind of my breaking point where
Yep. The bank.
Yeah.
Because sucks.
Up until that point, the game is just insanely efficient to the point that I found it extremely amusing. Yeah. Where you like do something for Hagrid. He's like, hey, I need you to do this thing. And then you do the thing real quick. And he's like, okay, here's a book about Quidditch. And I'm like, why do I need this book about Quidditch? And then someone comes around immediately afterwards and confiscates the book about Quidditch. They're like, hey, that belongs in the library. And I'm like, okay. And then like a map falls out of the book. And I forget what the map points to, but it's important for the next part of the game. And then you're just going boom, 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 boom. Until you get to Diagon Alley and you got to spin around on a...
Oh my God.
roller coaster ride for like 4 times in a row.
And catch a peacock. Thank you very much.
And feed some owls. But that's the least awful part of that whole endeavor.
It really feels like they were like, man, this game's 2 hours long.
Yeah,
dude.
right. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, what are we going to do? It is so unlike the rest of the game where it's just like, here's the same thing again, but harder.
Yeah. Yep.
And then harder again.
Right.
Harry's wand grew more supple and hard. If the game could just promise you, hey, you're not going to have to do this again. Mm-hmm. Just have fun with it. I think it would be fine. You're just spinning around and collecting coins. It's whatever. Mm-hmm. It's a video game.
Yeah.
But it's where you can't back out because you know you failed.
Right.
And you just have to wait for it to get to the end. And then he's like, trouble with the trolley, eh? And then you have to do the thing again. It's like, oh, now I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah. And all you can do is just do it again immediately afterwards in this framework where you have to do it 3 times.
You can't save or like take a breather. He's just like, let's go. Come on, kid.
Coins don't make sense either.
Yeah.
Because I think you need like three of them.
Yes.
You need 3 coins. And then I think I did the Diagon Alley mini games out of order because I went to one place. He's like, oh, you've got 1 coin. Yeah. You've got the 1 coin. So you can do this. And then I went to like the last place or something. I don't even remember. I lost a bunch because every time you do a mini game, you lose a coin. And I only had 1 coin left. And then he's like, oh, you've got all 3 coins. You can participate in this. And I was like, I don't have 3 coins. I only have 1 coin. But thank goodness they programmed that in here because
they didn't expect any kid to get past that point.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. Well, the end boss, as long as we're on the subject, just seemed impossible. I don't.
Right.
I did not complete this game because I got to the last boss and I was like, what? I knew what to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it go, though. I was just like, what?
Yeah. That end stuff is crazy because, like, the craziest part to me, I guess, in my brain of Sorcerer's Stone is that last section because you just got boom, 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 boom. You've got 3-headed dog. Boom, go to riding on a broomstick to catch a key.
Yep.
Boom to real life chess.
Yeah.
And then boom to Voldemort.
Right.
That's an insane like barrage of punches that they're hitting you with there.
And there's a cup and ball puzzle in there as well.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
cup and
fun.
balls. Yep. You gotta You gotta keep stuff away from the troll as he walks down the hallway.
That was terrible because I didn't understand it. I was like, what?
It's great. The chess stuff I didn't understand because it's not chess.
No.
It's like every piece moves one square, and then you got to just do the right set of moves so that every other chess piece blows itself up. And it's not easy. I don't know how any kid did that.
I'm trying to imagine as a kid, would I like this more, or if it was like an actual chess thing? Now I would definitely like an actual chess thing.
Yeah, good point.
Although I feel like it would just like railroad you into one solution, even though that's kind of what this does anyway. But I think if you're a kid who doesn't understand chess, that would just be, I can't beat this game anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
So at least this is like, okay, it's simple enough. It's just, it's so hard to like, they don't give you a good view of the chessboard or anything. It's just like, they don't explain it very well. Because there's different pieces, but they all move the same, so it doesn't seem like it matters.
All right. Harry, you take the empty bishop square. Hermione, you'll be the queenside castle. And as for me, I'll be a knight.
And they die when they attack. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Oh, no. I don't know.
It's kind of cool, though. I don't know. I still like it.
Yeah, they hit all the beats, dude.
Yeah.
All the beats.
There's Quidditch.
Yeah, there's a mirror in the final boss fight, and you have to use it somehow.
Yeah, sure. Quirrell swears at you. Oh, that's crazy.
He does, yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Turn this game off. Is this T for teen, dude? All of a sudden?
You mentioned the Quidditch. I thought in the PC version, I don't know, it was just stupid little me who thought that all that stuff was optional.
Oh, okay.
But here it's like super mandatory. It's just like part of the story. It's just like, okay, now we have Quidditch against Hufflepuff. See if you can win. And then you fly through the rings and win.
I didn't hate it.
No. And this is another part where like little me thought that like I had no idea what was happening during any of this.
Yeah.
And I would just like catch the snitch and then they would be like, Gryffindor won. I'd be like, oh, we must have barely won. Oh, thank goodness. But now I'm like, okay, I caught the snitch. So it's just auto win, I guess.
The problem is that Quidditch makes no sense. There's no problem with you or the game, okay, sir. J.K. Rowling is to blame for this in many things. That even if you wanted to, and they did make a whole Quidditch game, like this just doesn't translate to anything because it's like you can. Why would you play any position but Seeker?
Yeah,
and then
very good point.
Why even have the rest of the game happening? Because it's not like, I assume it's not like if Harry takes long enough, maybe the other team scores 160 points or whatever, and then you lose anyway. Like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
Quidditch is weird, dude. I don't know. It is. If I had to make somehow Quidditch on a PlayStation 1, there's no way I would make anything half as good as just fly through the rings and stuff is happening around you.
Totally.
That's all you need.
Yeah. Very good point. Yeah. And it's pretty technically impressive for a PlayStation 1 game. They had to slap together in like a dozen months or something.
Right. I wonder what kind of technical stuff is happening around you as you play Quidditch or whatever. But
who knows? I think this game was released after the PlayStation 2 and GameCube were out.
This was
at least the PlayStation 2. Yeah.
You're saying they figured it out. They cracked the code on the PlayStation by that point. They're like, we could run Metal Gear Solid 2 on this if we wanted to.
Yeah.
We're making Harry Potter.
Right.
It's whatever.
Yeah. The credit sequence is just one long panning shot on a desk. Whoa. That's all it is. And then credits go by.
Aw.
They mastered the technical facets of the
Speaking
PlayStation.
of which, we can't talk about this game without talking about the awesome player models and character models that are happening in the video game. What in the world? It's unlike anything I've ever seen, truly. Except there's in black and white for the PC, there's those shipbuilder guys and they sing that song.
Oh, yes.
This notion that we quite like to sail the ocean, so we're building a big boat to leave here for good.
And they kind of look like the people in this game where they have like the weird like shoulders into the big club hands.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I had to say about that. It's crazy how they just like they like digitized the actors but then changed it so they didn't have to pay for the likeness rights, and then they like slap it onto like 2 polygons. It's so cool.
That's great. That's a great way of describing it.
Because everybody's face is all like slanty because they didn't like map it correctly. It's so cool.
It made the memes.
Yeah, but I'm glad that people like, so many games have nothing to remember them by. This game has crazy Hagrid looking all weird.
Yeah.
And a good soundtrack.
Yeah. That's another thing. I was expecting more music, I guess, especially in the beginning.
Yes.
Where you're running around Hogwarts and learning the ropes of Flipendo and platforming. Yeah, and it's silent. And then Harry has basketball shoes on, or someone recently waxed the floors.
Squeaky feet, Harry coming down the hall.
And it's playing like this ambient wind noise.
Yes.
It's like,
I like that.
And is it supposed to be creepy? Because extract that waveform, and it's probably identical to Arx Fatalis, the video game developed by Arcane Software, which is meant to be unsettling.
Right.
And here we are running around Hogwarts, but like as soon as you start like a new section or whatever, it'll play the music, and I would be like, oh, this is it. This is that ooey gooey delicious center that I was hoping for this entire time. And then the song that they programmed in ends, and it just cuts to wind sound effect and squeaky shoes again.
Yes. And you go to Gringotts, and it's so crazy how it's just like a hockey rink for some reason. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. So I played this game in like the mix of like 5 other PlayStation 1 games.
Yes.
And it's fascinating to me the way that these original PlayStation games look so ugly.
Okay.
But like the sound quality is insane.
Yeah.
There's like there has to be so much storage just dedicated to that sound quality because it feels so dissonant. It's weird. Like the sound quality on some of this stuff feels higher than stuff that's coming out today. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like compressed less because it's like, we have CDs.
Right. Fill this up. Yeah, we got, what is it, 700 megabytes or something?
Oh my God,
like, what are we going to do? Fill it with character models?
No.
That's a 500 kilobyte JPEG, bro.
That's right. Throw in more portraits of us as wizards.
The good times.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this game. I'll never play it again.
Sure. Despite it would only take 3 hours to do so.
Yeah. I don't know. Rupert Grint.
That's the dream.
That's enough for me. Where do you want to put this thing, Christian?
I don't know, Tucker. There's a wide swath here. We got a good spectrum. We got to make sure we don't put it in the wrong spot, though. Be careful.
Okay. I think it's better than the Polar Express video game.
I definitely agree.
Thank you.
I was thinking about that during this, but I don't know why. I think is that the only other movie licensed video game we've played through so far?
Maybe we did the Fairly Odd Parents, but that was just like
good point.
Junk.
Yep.
That wasn't based
licensed
on anything
game though.
real.
Yeah, sure.
Boy.
It might also be because I was seeing Order of the Phoenix gameplay, and the first stretch of that is like them screwing around on a train, and it gave me Polar Express flashbacks. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Trains. What's too high for you? How high is too high?
Good question. Maybe around Borderlands 1. How about that?
It's too high?
It's a good ceiling, I think. Maybe BioShock 1.
I think that's too high.
Yeah.
I would pump it down some.
Right, yeah, I would agree.
I could see it. Let me throw this out there. Skype delay notwithstanding, I could see it between Splinter Cell and Sonic Triple Trouble.
Ooh, I like that spot a lot.
Okay.
I do really like that spot. I think that's a very good spot for a Tucker.
Okay. Are we ranking our spots? I think that's the best spot, so I'm gonna put that at number 1.
I agree.
Potter.
Yes.
It's.
You must be the youngest Quidditch player in a century, according to McGonagall.